What's up, good people? It's your man James Mack back with another video right to your dome. I want to talk about living in Charlotte, North Carolina, and why you should not move here if you're this type of person. Charlotte, North Carolina could be a great city. If you never visit, you should visit. Let's jump right into the video. You know I do. I'm not going to waste a lot of time. This is the reason why I feel like you should not move to Charlotte if you're this type of person. The type of person, let's get into that. Well, first, before I get into that, let me tell you about that new merch I'm dropping. You know, we're about to hit 1K subscribers. It took me like 6 years to hit 1K subscribers, y'all. That's crazy. I guess my content wasn't hot enough or whatever the case may be. We got the new merch out, 𝐒𝐓𝐀𝐾. It's the second generation of the Jim Crow era, and I'm gonna let y'all sit with that. I'm not even gonna get into that, but that's what the hats represent. Yo, Charlotte, North Carolina is one of those cities that's still in the deep South, very much so. You can find amusement here. You can find business. It's one of the largest banking cities in the United States of America, next to New York and next to LA, okay? With that being said, the culture is the #1 thing that's whack in Charlotte. I'm just gonna say it like that. It's whack, it's booty, it's garbage, it's trash. Now, if you're a young individual that's, you know, fresh out of college or mid-lifer, you're in your 30s or your 40s, you might want to pay attention to this video. Get right to it. 30s and 40s, it's not a lot for you to do, especially if you're black, okay? So let me get into the culture. The culture, when I first moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, was vibrant. You know, it was a lot of things for African Americans to do. I felt like it was the next Atlanta 10 years ago. I did. I was like, okay, it's vibing. It's plenty things for African Americans to do. You see people doing well, integrated. You see, you know, black folks everywhere. It was booming. It was growing. So I'm like, you know what? I think I want to, you know what I mean, do some business here in Charlotte. So I, you know, came to Charlotte and started doing business. Things are still going well, but I noticed that it wasn't really anything to do. Like, it wasn't no clubs, no jazz bars, no good a couple restaurants, but no good, like, hidden vegan restaurants or nothing like that, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. Fast forward, we have a worse problem. Charlotte is not that place no more for African Americans. I'm sorry. African American business owners here in Charlotte equals to 1% of the population of business owners. That's crazy. It's no black businesses really that much in Charlotte, okay? It's no culture as far as like things to do, clubs to go to. If you see a club or a bar or lounge, it's gonna get shut down quickly, right? It's really no money in Charlotte. See, everybody think it's money in Charlotte, and I'm gonna get into the finance. I don't want to get into that right now, but that influences the culture, because when it's more money, you know what I'm saying, and more luxurious things to do like Miami, people have more, you know, more time to do them. You know, it's just a liver feeling, right? But this is not that. I'm gonna tell you the culture of North Carolina is work, corporate. It's like a slave mentality in different parts of Charlotte, right? So you, on one hand, you have the growing Caucasian culture and Mexican culture growing. Like, they have so much culture here, it's crazy. Much respect to the Caucasian people, much respect to white people here in Charlotte. The booming industry for breweries, you know, that's a plus. The expanding apartments, living situations, that's super expensive for Charlotte. Just bumping, you know, Charlotte is a city with the median age is 44 years old. So this is a young city. And what you see the culture, a lot of black people struggling, a lot of white people doing great. That's because of the corporate America struggle. You know, Charlotte is a banking center, so a lot of it is corporate jobs. So when people move here, they work for Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Lewis, you know, all these different big banks. Well, you already know the demographics when it comes to corporate America, the diversity, inclusion, and things like that. So Charlotte is not that when it comes to culture. Maybe if you white, come to Charlotte. It's the perfect place for you. You got breweries, your culture here, the people here, everything is for you. If you black, you might want to double think coming to Charlotte, unless you just want to strictly raise your family, and that's just it. And then I've heard some things with the school system and all that, but that's a whole different scenario. So that'd be my first thing with Charlotte is the culture. The culture is straight whack. If it's a black bar or something like that, or if it's a club or something, it's getting shut down quickly. You know what I mean? It ain't too many that's, you know, really rotated for a long period of time. Even, you know, when you deal with the big stars like Jordan, you know, all the big stars, Iverson, they come through and everything. This is where they come to like chill and just not be bothered. So you don't really see a lot of fancy stuff. You see a couple cards every now and then, but people is so moderate and so low key in Charlotte to where it's kind of low key boring. So I'm letting you know that right now. If you come to Charlotte, I've heard it a million times, like it's boring. Like, yeah, you can go out, but it ain't no vibe. You know, it's not a vibe. And it may be a vibe to somebody that's coming from like another part, another country, city. But remember, this is the South, so it's a different vibe. You may not like it. You may want to look for another place that's more vibrant, that has more culture, more things to do for black people, like Atlanta. You know, Atlanta is just a whole different scenario. And I often find my times when I'm in Charlotte, I need to go to Atlanta to kind of feel unity in the community and feel, you know, get that feeling back and then come back to Charlotte because it's just not that here. I'm sorry. My second thing is crazy, you know, and Charlotte is still the South, right? So you still got segregation. I'm gonna say it, you still have racism here. And the South is an unknown known that you have to respect, that you have to look at white folks a certain type of way. I'm just being honest from my opinion, right? Young or old, you know what I'm saying? It's just an air about things, you know. People are still scared here of black people. I see it all the time. I'm speaking for myself. It's still racism within the corporate America. Folks not really getting where they need to get to. It's kind of a good old boy network. I've been here for years trying to do business, and we were in the news and everything about this. To get a good retail establishment is almost impossible because it's controlled by 3 or 4 brokers, and they don't like you, and they all white. So if they don't like you, which you can count on your one hand the amount of black businesses that's uptown Charlotte or in the surrounding areas, right? If they don't like you, it's a wrap. It's a done deal. You would not get any premium retail space. You would not have any premium business opportunities in Charlotte if you're not in that circle, or if you don't mess with a certain group of black folks in Charlotte. Then you could forget like construction opportunities. They have the DBE, but it's just different parameters when it comes to Charlotte, man. It's just not fruitful for that type of environment. If you're looking to advance, if you're African American, if you're white or Mexican, Charlotte is perfect for you. It's the perfect city. It's safe for the most part. And it's just a lot of things to do. You can date. You have some very good dating options for what I'm hearing. I think that if you're white and you're young in college, you can get on very easy with a corporation here. That's just the reality of it. You'll be perfect. You know, you won't have any problems with living. They have so many new apartment buildings. But if you're black, you might have some issues. I'm just being honest. It's the South, you know, so you just won't feel that feeling of, you know, every time, you know, something in the news about Charlotte, a lot of times it's kind of racist. You know, when the CIAA was going on, they were showing how they were overcharging or putting an extra tax on folks that was coming here. That was one of the reasons why I left, why I moved to Baltimore, right? You see the big stars, Jordan and stuff like that. They don't really live here anymore. You know, they were 7 years ago. Charlotte was on that. The CIAA was going on. The city was pumping. Now, especially after the coronavirus, oh my God, it's over. It's a wrap, right? So you can come and live here and it's peaceful and everything, but you're gonna see a lot of struggling black folks. You're gonna see a lot of struggling black people. You're gonna see a lot of successful black women in corporate America that just stick to themselves. That's, you know what I'm saying? They might go out to dinner with each other. Brothers, come to Charlotte, you know, see what you could do. Everybody move different. I'm gonna get into the dating here in a minute anyway. So, you know, the grand old party or the kind of like that type of thing is in Charlotte, man. And if you know, they want you, the powers that be, they want you to do business in the hood. They put out grants for Charlotte called the Open, and they want you to do business in the hood. The hood does not have money for a reason. So if you're trying to do business and you want to make a lot of money in retail or something like that, or some type of service, all you got to do is research in these certain area codes, 28208, research that minimum household income, and it's like 28,000 or less. People, you know, Charlotte is one of those cities where you will go around, you'll see, when they talk about black jobs, Charlotte is a classic place of like black jobs, like janitors, like people that work at fast food restaurants, Uber Eats, Uber, like those the black jobs, right? The most of the Charlotte is working for corporate America, doing good. So it's not fruitful for African Americans. You're gonna get a handful and a couple that's gonna do great. But from my perspective and what I've seen compared to Miami, it's not a collective thing. See, Miami, they have a collective community. Like black folks, for the most part, tend to kind of like get together. Now, it may be a little cliquish, but I'm telling you, once you get in one of those cliques or one of those groups or with one of those type of organizations, you good. Like it's open up doors. Here, not so much because it's so sporadic and it's just not here. My third reason why I'm telling you not to move to Charlotte, North Carolina is the pay, man. Among other cities, but I'm talking about Charlotte, North Carolina right now, man, the pay is terrible, okay? The pay, I hear people complain about it all the time, from corporate America to the black jobs, you know, or to, you know, to the regular, you know, jobs. They still paying people $2 to work at restaurants, $2.50, deliver pizzas and stuff like that. They paying, you know, $7 an hour, plus tips and all this, man, and the rent is just as high as in Miami. The rent is, you know, you can find a good place for $2,000, but I'm $2,000 for a place like this where they're not paying that much money. You know, you might get a good job. I tried a job once and was the assistant manager of a jewelry store, and they were only paying me $17 an hour. Like, are you serious right now? The assistant manager at the jewelry store only getting $17 an hour plus commission. Charlotte will have you hurting, man. But it's a good, fruitful place. But if you don't, it's so many bankers here to where they save so much money, it's like nobody really wants to really spend that bag. And if they're spending the bag, they're spending it within their community. You see, because the white people, they took over South End, all these other places, even the hood, they took over the hood too. And they created their own environments. So now what used to be a black environment, you felt like it was a black thing coming up, is now a white environment. And they built it up nice and everything, but it's for them to feel comfortable because it's the brokers and the builders who are building it specifically to cater to that demographic, right? That's what you got going on in Charlotte. So pay, man, just keep people poor, you know what I mean? And I'm in the jewelry business and things like that, and you know, you don't see the same type of volume as you'll see in Atlanta or Miami. It's not here. Fourth thing, and I'm gonna get off of here about Charlotte. I don't want to dog them too much. I'm gonna let you know in another video why you should move to Charlotte if you're this type of person. But I gotta talk about the negative parts about Charlotte right now. Check this out. If you're dating, and I can't speak for every man, but Charlotte is a tough place to date in, man. You gotta really be out there. Let's put it like that. You know what I mean? It's a lot of internet dating going on here in Charlotte because a lot of people work jobs and they be tired. They be working 50, 60 hours. They don't really want to get out. I ran into a lot of women that's just depleted of energy because they got to go back to work on Monday or the next day or whatever. So when you dealing with these places with these really, really serious corporate bank jobs, people mental status is like toast, man. They really are just done, burnt up, because those jobs require so much energy and they're trying to do other things like put themselves up and get raises and all that, and it's just wild. A lot of women here in Charlotte, what I noticed is they'll let themselves go. And that's probably just because you don't visually see the women, you know what I mean, putting on, you know, unless you're going to the club or something like that. But on a regular day basis, I don't see it. I may see the corporate women and just the regular corporate stuff, but like anything that have to do with anything with like dressing up and really putting it on, I'm not seeing it in Charlotte, you know? So you really don't see those women on a day-to-day basis that look good. You know, I'm just gonna put it like that, that look good. You see regular folk doing regular things, which is cool, don't get me wrong. But if you are a type of person that's looking, if you're a type of man that's looking for the attractive women, that you see them every day, I don't know, bro. Charlotte is not the place. You know what I mean? They do got some beautiful women, don't get me wrong, but nah, it ain't the place for it if you really trying to find them and see them like that. They ain't got them here, trust me. You know, but it's gonna be kind of, you're gonna, depend on who you are, because everybody's different. You know, you may come and love it. I know guys that's loving it right now, you know. So I'm just saying, from what I've heard, it's a little difficult to date here, you know, because just how the corporate structure is, and how, like, you might go out and not see nobody, right? But the people you do see, if you go to that type of spot, it's not really the type of women you want to engage anyway. So the good women, they laid up, they got to go to work in the morning. So just something that, you know what I mean, or you might catch them on the internet or something like that. So just keep that in mind when you come to Charlotte. If you white, or you're a white guy, man, listen, get to Charlotte really quick, because there's tons of white women here for you that just are lonely, and they may not date black guys, but if you come and you got some swag about yourself and you got some flavor, oh my God, man, you're gonna have a time of your life. Trust me on that. All right, so that go out to all the Caucasian guys and the Hispanic guys, man. Y'all need to get to Charlotte, man. It's open door for y'all. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this little video up. Go ahead and get the merch, man. We just about to hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm hyped up, I'm pumped up, man, because we're about to get to dropping this media on y'all, man. And I just want to thank y'all for being there with me and supporting me, even if it's two views, you know, there's somebody out there watching. So we're gonna turn it up. I appreciate y'all. Much love. James Mack. Don't move to Charlotte, man. Don't move to Charlotte now. I told you already now. Don't do it. But if you do, you know, it's a beautiful place, man. Like, subscribe, and share.